Hello, I'm Simon Richardson from the Manx Radio Newsroom. Two watches described as horological masterpieces and made by Isle of Man-based watchmakers, the late George Daniels and his protege Roger W. Smith, have been sold for over $3 million at Sotheby's in Geneva. Roger W. Smith, whose workshop is based in Selby, told me the watches have a remarkable backstory.
Yes, the first watch, the Millennium wristwatch, was a watch I completed in 2001. It was in the final stages of the Millennium Project, which was a reason for me moving over to the Isle of Man to help George create this series of watches. And in the final year, I asked if I could make a watch for myself in lieu of a bonus. And to my great surprise, George said yes, of course. And so I made the watch, completed it in 2001, and then I had to come to the difficult decision in 2008 to sell the watch to a collector in order to raise funds to keep my business going and help it grow and so on.
That's a great story behind them. Now, I understand there was huge interest in the auction with some of the world's most distinguished collectors bidding.
Yes, the battle in the end was between a collector in New York and then a guy who's based in the UAE in Dubai, but he'd flown in specially for the auction, and he was the eventual winner of the watch.
And was he known to you personally?
Yes. In fact, several of the bidders were. We're very fortunate that we have a good number of very solid collectors dotted all around the world, very good supporters of what we do here on the Isle of Man.
Now, the Millennium White Gold watch made, as you say, in 2001, fetched around $2.4 million, and your coaxial some $819,000. How does it feel to see your creations sold for such sums?
It's quite remarkable. I think for me, it's just part of my career. This is something that I had to do, and I did in order to establish the business and learn and become a watchmaker in my own right. So for me to see these watches, achieving these record prices is quite astonishing. Yeah, I'm quite humbled by the whole process, really, that somebody's willing to spend, well, as you say, just short of £2 million on a single wristwatch that I made back in 2001. So it's remarkable, really is remarkable.
Of course, people just see the watch and they don't see the huge amount of work that goes in behind it. How long would a timepiece like that take to create?
So to use the anniversary wristwatch, the yellow gold anniversary that sold on Sunday, that piece would take about 11 months to make. And what's unusual about the workshop here on the island is that raw material enters one end of the building and a completed watch will leave at the opposite end some 11 months later. And that's unheard of in this world of horology, where one workshop will build a complete watch, really. Most other watchmakers are reliant upon specialist trade suppliers, for example, to produce the cases or the dials, but we do everything in-house, and that's the real unique character of what we're achieving here.
And how does it work for you being based in the Isle of Man? Is it still ideal from your perspective?
I think so. I think this, I'm going to use the word remoteness and not in a negative way. For me, I think to have been outside of the watch industry, the traditional centre of watchmaking, which is Switzerland, has been very, very good. It means that, I have my own ideas. There's no real influences going on in my work. And also it makes, in our workshop here, we have to be 100% reliant because we can't rely on outside suppliers. So it has created something really unique. So for me, it's a real benefit. And actually, even more latterly, when we're taking on employees, we find that people are wanting to move to the Isle of Man to work here. They're wanting a break from London or some of the major cities where we bring these watchmakers in from. So yeah, it's fabulous. It's very good indeed.
I guess such is the reputation as well, both of George Daniels and of course yourself. I suppose all new watches under production are often sold years in advance.
Yes, they are. We have very good waiting list. We had to have a sort of a soft close on the order book a few years ago just because it was running away. And I think even now we have about a 6-7 year waiting list. So it's I suppose, testament to what we are creating here, something very unique. And we only make very few pieces. We make, I think this year is about 18 pieces. So very few pieces actually enter the market. So fortunately, there is a demand for them, which is good.
And how many do you have in the team now, Roger?
There's 15 in total. Not all of them are watchmakers. Probably, I think, off the top of my head, there's eight of us who are actually involved in physically assembling watches. Then we have various support staff in terms of engineers. And then we have a couple of people who are involved in the engine turning of dials and the assembling of dials. And then obviously myself doing design work in the background for future watches. And so, yeah, it's, actually that's the interesting thing about watchmaking. There are a lot of different disciplines involved in creating a watch, lots of different areas. So, yeah, it's you need a good team in order to do it.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.